I'm Anthonix Maximus, bitching to you about movies because I do not know how to strike when the iron is hot. With the huge success of Thor Ragnarok, most movie reviewers will review a movie connected to that movie before the new movie comes out. Not me though. I wait until after, because in my defense, Thor Ragnarok came the same week as Halloween, and I had to do a Halloween episode. And let's just say I wanted to get this mini-main back before I did another review. Alright. And also, I just got busy. I know. This is supposed to be primary, but life also exists. If you have not seen Thor Rag, that's what the cool kids are calling it, then you might be interested in checking out The Incredible Hulk Returns. The Incredible Hulk was a TV show that ran on CBS from 1978 to 1982. From 1977, if you include the 2-hour pilot, the show had 82 episodes. I'll be honest, I was never a fan of the TV show. It was about a man getting all pissed off and turning into a big green monster. And what does he do with his brute strength? He goes out and beats up rednecks. Also, I don't care for the TV show because how far it deviates from the comics. When it was in pre-production, CBS offered Kenneth Johnson the opportunity to write and produce the show. Inspired by his favorite play, Les Miserables, Johnson took on the task. But because his dislike for comic books, he decided to change so much of the source material. Look, studios. If you have a director, a writer, or producer that does not like comic books, do not hire him to work on a comic book show. I'm looking at you, Superman 3. This smelly producer did away with a lot. We all know the story of the Incredible Hulk. He's a scientist that survived the gamma radiation explosion only to turn into a hulking monster every time he gets angry. A simple story, just add his love interest Betty Ross, her obsessive military father, and a slew of monsters, and you have a lot to work with. Oh, but that wasn't enough for old douchebag producer face Kenneth Johnson. Under his reign of terror, all the supporting characters were removed. The obsessive General Thunderbolt Ross was replaced by tabloid writer Jack McGee. Hulk was a simple lab accident, and Betty Ross became his wife Laura, who died in a car accident. Kenneth Johnson changed the alter ego of the Hulk from Bruce Banner to David Banner. Why did he do this? Get this. Because he thought the name Bruce was a bit gayish.
I know.
For a guy really into Les Miserables producing a show about a shirtless beefcake running around, you really shouldn't be throwing stones in a fabulous glass mansion. But the show was produced, and it was a rating success. And in 1988, NBC bought the rights from CBS to produce a TV movie called The Incredible Hulk Returns.
When David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs.
You know, without a 5-minute long logo, how am I supposed to know this was produced by Marvel? The movie starts on a nightmare-having David Banner, here played by the late Bill Bixby. I'm mildly interested.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Well, it's been 2 years since David Banner became the Hulk. Since then, he started working at a new institute with a new love of his life. And yes, David is with a woman. Happy, producer Kenneth Johnson? Come on! It was a different time, a different way of thinking. Oh, well, alright. I do understand. Eventually, we all do learn and grow. But I still say everyone named Bruce is a pillow biter. Get the hell out of here! Picture with my voiceover.
Ladies and gentlemen, a miracle in our time.
Ah yes, the good old days, when science only consisted of flashing lights.
The gamma transponder. And the people responsible.
everybody clapped for 8 hours and left. See, David Banner, or known as David Banyan, because, that'll throw people off, wants to use the gamma transponder to reverse the radiation that makes him the Hulk.
You are David Banner, aren't you? I just couldn't let you zap yourself with that thing until I was sure.
And now we are introduced to Donald Blake, apparently played by young Lyle Lovett.
Donald Blake?
The one and only.
In some versions in the comics, Donald Blake is possessed by the spirit of Thor. And when he raises the mighty Mjolnir, he becomes the god of thunder. It's sort of like the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe setup. Or, just crap all over Stanley and Jack Kirby's work. And what the hell is Banner doing holding Mjolnir? Only the worthy can pick up the mighty hammer. Not many can do that. Wonder Woman can. So in this version, Thor is not Donald Blake. Instead, he gets summoned like Captain Planet to demand beer and pick fights with smaller scientists. Only 24 minutes in, and we get to see the Incredible Hulk? Not an hour? Clearly, this was not directed by Ang Lee. Piss off, Avengers. This is how you film a Thor and Hulk fight. Yeah, the long-anticipated fight between the Incredible Hulk and the mighty Thor. That's what every fan wants to see. Two muscled guys growling at each other and then one of them run away.
Easy, Banner. I'm here as ally, not enemy.
Odin!
I gotta say, this is a weird gender-bent remake of I Dream of Jeannie.
What about your friend?
My friend stays put till I call him.
For a 40-year-old college student, Donald Blake is a real dick.
Listen, it's him. I know it's him. I mean, it's the Hulk, Mark. Who would know better than I do? I chased him for nearly 4 years.
Looks like Big Green has made the headlines of the New York Globe. Not that sissy-ass Daily Bugle, but the New York Globe, a totally real paper. And this high-powered film takes it up to the next level as we cut to the most hardcore, adrenaline-driven game of all the cosmos. Racquetball to the max! That's right, an evil deal is being made for control of the gamma transponder over the most overcompensating game of men in their midlife crisis.
My organization kidnapped the transponder, and this David Banyan also within the week, for 1/3 percentage of the final sale price, or ransom, whichever comes first. Got a deal, Mr. Lambert?
Sexually frustrated men will be right back. Now. Now let's give the title character a break while we focus on Donald Blake and Thor, because the movie really wants us to focus on these two.
Something's going on here. Moving in, baby, you ain't got nothing to fear. Big guy's finally here.
You're basically a good dude. A nice guy who just happens to enjoy pounding evildoers into oblivion. But does that make you a bad person? No. Punish the bad people who hurt the good people, that's what I say. Give them fire and brownstone.
That's why Odin made you my guide in this place. But it's more than that. You may not be much of a man.
Well,
but you have a good brain and a wide heart.
Well, we watched these two hang out, and nope, I still don't give a rat's ass about Donald Blake.
Don't let me down in this, Fauché. Get the machine and the man who made it, Banyan. D. Banyan.
Hey, no problem. What could stop us? Hey, that'd be good. 10-4. We out of here. We gone by.
Aw, on, man. They dragged Charles Napier into this.
You got a very valid point. But on the other hand, shut up.
Sir, yes, sir.
Get him off the wall! Oh my God! Straighten him out. Run him back your crush.
Boom! Who needs CGI when you can have Bill Bixby take a break while Lou Ferrigno takes over? Watch out, Charles Napier. You got the Hulk so pissed, he's gonna watch you escape.
Hang on a little longer, please. There is hope for us. But it all depends on something that I have to do in the next few days. And if it turns out all right, then we can be together.
But it's not so simple when you have everyday cops take on Hulk.
Give me that tranquilizing gun! Move it, move it.
Nice try, fools, but nothing can stop. Oh. Hulk and Thor has finally met their match, a helicopter.
What we'll do is attack them.
In Thor Ragnarok, Thor and Hulk waste their time dealing with the likes of Surtur and Hela, but these guys, they might be their greatest threat.
I say gaze into the hypnotic power of my evil eye. Is there a follow-up question?
How may I serve you, evil one?
I know what you're thinking. This would be a more exciting fight if they played Led Zeppelin's Immigration song. It's hail and a lightning storm and a ooh, and it's Hulk and it's Thor and they're gonna fight. Ooh, wow! And hail and a lightning storm and in other words, I don't know.
Because neither of us can ever say anything about those two other persons, can we?
But why the hell not? In your time, the Hulk's been around for a decade. I'm certain people will believe you.
There's a connection here somewhere.
The only connection is a loose one, McGee, and it's located between your ears.
Thank you for your superfluous storyline, Jack McGee.
When the troll's upon you, you're a mighty fighter.
You're not bad yourself.
I know.
So long, Thor, we hardly knew ye. And good riddance to you, Wormy.
I'll always love you.
And that was The Incredible Hulk Returns. And truly, he did return. Just like Batman and Superman, this made-for-television movie was a rating success. And it garnered 2 more movies, one including Daredevil. Really, this movie served as a backdoor pilot for a Thor spin-off, which never happened. Probably because having 2 leads to represent one hero is unnecessary. For Hulk, it made sense to have 2 actors because they represent different body sizes. This is long before the heavy usage of CGI that we have today. However, we do not need a world to be saved by a godlike being controlled by a little weakling. That's like calling Commissioner Gordon a superhero because he turns on the bat signal. There is not much on Steve Levitt, who played Donald Blake. Most of his filmography occurred before this film. In that same year, he was also in Get Smart Again. Aside from my issues with Donald Blake existing, thoroughly enjoyed Thor himself. The actor brought a lot of life as an optimistic warrior to otherwise what used to be a stale character. Former Canadian football player Eric Kramer went on to do many comedies such as The Hughleys, American Wedding, and Good Luck Charlie. Sadly, Bill Bixby passed away in 1993 after filming an episode of Blossom. His presence was not forgotten as he made a cameo via a TV show in the 2008's Incredible Hulk. Beating out his rival Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Hulk role, Lou Ferrigno became a household name. Ferrigno went on to do many roles, including King of Queens. However, even after the Hulk series ended, Ferrigno reprised the role through the 90s animated series and throughout theatrical films through Avengers Age of Ultron. Disappointing to see that was his last film. See, was that review so bad? Now you don't have to go see that smelly Thor Ragnarok, which came out weeks ago. Now that Thor Fraggle Rock is out of the way, I shall clear out Marvel and make room for DC. I have the power of DC. And cheap lightning effect.